about what is a metaverse. So we are the next in the given time, next another 40-45 minutes, we are actually going to see what are all the ethical considerations and challenges. I could also see the previous speaker also touching on the ethical considerations and challenges, but we will try to focus more on metaverse and its what are all the ethical considerations and challenges. So generally, what is a metaverse? It's a simple word. We even at homes, we have started using the VR glasses, right? So the VR glasses we are actually having, and we are actually trying to see. Mostly, we would have seen the dragon train, traversing through a tunnel, through that mobile that is inserted through a VR. So generally, metaverse, it's kind of like an immersive world. So you are like, it is in another world where you are being taken as an avatar, or you are immersed in that particular, the feeler. So that's why, we always have this IMAX. Why we have a crazy addiction towards IMAX? Because you are feeling that, whenever you see a movie, especially in IMAX, it's kind of like trying to give we will always say that it is kind of like a metaverse feeling. Why? Because all the science fiction movies, when you see it in an IMAX screen, it actually it makes you feel that you are there. Yeah, and it's an expanded version of the internet, where you can talk. It's not like even in the social media things where we talk to the people, we have a call, we write a text in the normal internet world, but through metaverse, with the internet power, what we are trying to do is we are creating our own digital twin, in an immersive world. So the VR AR, I think I also listened, exactly the previous speaker also, touch base. But interestingly, one of my friend, is also running a gaming industry, and so he's a CEO of a gaming industry, and I used to observe, what is happening behind the industry. So now he has created, in the metaverse world, he has created the digital bat. You can actually buy the bat. Of course, it makes the of course, there are some negative things that also highlighted in the sessions, like we become addicted. Yes, but what makes the people, they are trying to use this blockchain. Why I'm trying to say is they are trying to use this blockchain and cryptocurrency, and especially blockchain. Blockchain is used for a safety thing. See, in the metaverse, we really need to understand like why there is a involvement. We all know that VR AR is there. Normally, knowingly or unknowingly, we would have bought some VR glasses or the VR kit for our kids or for our own to explore. Fine, but what is the blockchain and cryptocurrency is doing over there? So one example is he's one where when I saw what is happening in his own gaming world, he's actually trying to sell a digital bat. That means you can use some currency. It can be cryptocurrency, or he has his own currency format. So using the currency, people are trying to buy a digital bat. People are trying to buy the helmet. They want to have a different color of the helmet, all the kit, what you want. Digitally, it has been brought. And why we need a blockchain? Blockchain is for the, especially it's a ledger technology is there, and it's for the safety thing. So we are going for the blockchain, for in the digital world, when we are trying to talk or trying to do some actions, trying to purchase something, everything has to be safe and secure. And we are going with blockchain. How we are also involving AI here is, I will tell you an example. Uh, we have a metaverse concept that this is one use case is known by everyone, where we wanted to identify the charging stations. It's like an electric car is actually traveling on a map, so we will actually create different maps. So mainly we will actually create, if you want to specify, we will always check this Chandigarh map. So this Chandigarh map is a map because that Chandigarh city, interestingly, for us to test the automotive, digitally, how a car is behaving with when this chip is actually, fired. So why we are always take this Chandigarh map is that is an interesting one, because Chandigarh has this roads and every setup. It's like it is full of confusion. It is always looks like a maze. So what we will do is we will try to put all 8,000 cars, 2,000 cars, 5,000 cars. We will put the cars, and we will actually have the electric charging station that has been placed, and we will actually, we will actually run the simulation like how that would be. I would show you now. I would show you in few minutes how, a sample. Some of the things I cannot show you, but there are some basic things that I can show it to you in the automotive world. How we see that when you place a charging station, when the car is actually coming up, when the charge is down, how an AI is behaving, how interacting with the blockchain, how everything is also projected for us in the metaverse world. So in the metaverse world, you can inject some situations. Example, if I'm a person, I will be typing saying that there is a this charging station is from today morning there is a power outage in this charging station. So so the slot looks like free, but we will not be able to charge. So this information, normally when blockchains are involved, I'm not going to confuse you here. There will be a one concept called as marketplace. So marketplace always goes together with blockchain. So marketplace is kind of like a data repo which gets information from different sources. Yeah, you can just think it of like a data repo which gets information from the different sources. Where example, the people who is also giving a blog information, that is also fed. See, you will not believe the amount of information that goes to the marketplace, even in the malls. What you do, you know why? For the metaverse we consider inputs from everything. Example, in the malls we will say that even sometimes some days back a person was, I was in the petrol bunk when I was coming out, people will not be giving that we have a lucky draw, please try to fill this information, we will actually uh, let you know something. So every information is money. So all these informations, whatever we have, the customer pattern, the thing, everything will flow to the marketplace. So not only the customer pattern, the customer, some of the customer pattern means customer behaviors. So a customer is telling some information about something on a particular grid, yeah, which we are actually trying to metaverse, or how this will be when it happens here. So when we try to induce something, so when we are trying to say that, hey, there is a tree fallen on the road, suddenly, and due to that, this charging station is not reachable. Suddenly, the AI will connect, because all this information is coming to the marketplace. This marketplace is deployed with the help of blockchain. Safety measures are deployed because you need to, ledger every information that is flowing to the market in a safe way. And AI is now also getting an information from the marketplace, different things saying that there is a tree that has been fallen down suddenly, so you don't allocate this charging station. If a person requests for the nearest fuel station or something, please don't allocate. Now all these situations, whenever you happen, we can actually feed lively when something is happened, then we will actually try to see what it will be, what in the metaverse world you can actually experience it. So one example, what you can see is, so this is some simulation world. So you can actually see here, um, normally what we will do is, this is simulation of urban mobility. This is a tool, sumo. And so we are trying to simulate like as the time goes. So normally we will run it for 18 hours, 20 hours, how the pattern for the whole day on a particular region. When we try to metaverse it, how you want to fill it. So we initially we have seen that this experience is on the software. We are trying to, this is a normal simulation. Don't, we are not, I'm not confusing you with the with the metaverse thing. But this is a normal simulation. All these things are cars. The charging station is what you see. Those are the slots of the charging station. How the cars behave when the slots are full as the time goes. So these things will be there. So now, when this is happening, we will slowly connect this exact See, this software, the simulations will be running as a software, and from the software, the feed will go to the metaverse. So if the feed is actually going to the metaverse, this is our real traffic simulation of demo from us. Uh, so yeah, so this is actually a metaverse thing. So now what we will do is, if at all we want to select one particular car in the simulation world, what you have seen. So in this, if at all you want to select one particular car, so all these small yellow boxes are cars, nothing but cars. Then these are the some of the charging stations. And when you want to Example, you want to sit in a one particular car. You select one particular car and you want to really see that what is happening, what I will feel when there is so much traffic in the traffic in the signals. What I feel in the toll gate, what I feel, and suddenly when a woman is trying to cross a road with a small kid, the information has to go from the women's mobile to the edge server, and from the edge server it has to come back to the artificial intelligence, and the artificial intelligence decides that I need to put a hard brake. But then when I put a hard brake, that there will be a chicken and egg problem, because if I put a hard brake, the person behind me, whether he will hit me or not, all these calculations AI will take. And if at all you want to feel all this experience, we are actually projecting into the metaverse world, so that tomorrow if you are in a Hyundai Creta or whatever car you want, Honda, any cars that you have, we are actually providing this technology to worlds, almost every car. So now what the system will actually decide is, if I apply a brake, now the AI will decide like who will be the least impact, and it will go with that decision. So normally there was the one a famous problem statement, right? Two children, one children were playing, five children were playing, and the five children are playing in a wrong area. This one kid is actually playing in the right area, a normal kids playful area, and these five fellows are on the road. When the AI is now coming, now when the car is actually coming, whether the AI will hit that one kid or this five kid. So all these things, if at all we are experiencing, we want to see how our algorithm works. So now what we will do is we will actually try to put things in the car. So now we will try to see that, okay, we will actually sit in one of the cars and see how things will be. So this is some basic metaverse snippet or a module that I have taken from our own experience, from our own what we do. So we will switch the view, and we will actually see that there might be roads from different directions. This is some of the basic setup that I'm showing. I'm not showing our advanced setup. So this is actually a metaverse feeler. Like we are actually see that before we give our solution to the to any company like Mahindra XUV 700, which is running with our own technology. So we will actually see that how things be there, exactly like what you have seen there. It is now simulating that all the charging station with 10 slots, and when traffic is there, how you will be. You can actually select which car you want to be in, and you can experience it. As the time goes, you will see a lot of trafficking situations, how the machine behaves, and we will introduce everything on suddenly. We will be placing some malls over there, and in the malls, so peoples are there, how the traffic will be. Some bridges we will apply. So we experience this metaverse experience in our life through these are the one of the examples that how we connect blockchain, obviously with the VR, the metaverse thing, and with AI playing its role. So these are we will say, the power pillars of metaverse. So how we are bringing it, the features is persistent and real time. Ma'am, Sangeeta ma'am, if I'm losing my audio, just let me know, because I'm in a home environment, so my internet may not be stable. So till as long I'm there, right? Just a confirmation. Um, Ma'am, I'm audible, right? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Premlata ma'am. Okay, now going back to our presentation. So this is how we connect lively in the industry. Whenever we are testing, it's just one kind of way that we use metaverse for our own purpose. So on the persistent and the real time, these are some of the features of metaverse. Decentralized. Now everything people wants to go on decentralized. Even data centric. So the data that we have collected, the metaverse helps us to decentralize and take it very close to the client. So that is what most of the edge devices are. So whenever you are having a sensor, whenever you are having a camera sensor, whenever you are trying to have an a car's sensor also, which can which gets the images of the when the car is actually running on the road. Because I will be using mostly the car, because I'm from basically from the automotive industry. I'm working for the automotive industry, so mostly my examples would be with the cars. So whenever when you're running with the car, you will have an external sensor because even to apply automatically the brake, you know, you need the sensor, and for that sensor, you know, you need features, because everything we wanted to keep it like a decentralized thing, because we wanted to take everything very closer to the clients, and this is one of the feature of metaverse that is helping. And persistent and real time, continuously, you know, real time interaction between the users, you know, one of the great features of the metaverse. And 3D experiences, you know, with each other in the virtual events. One beautiful example of this immersive, the word immersive, I would like to show you all, and another interesting one. I don't know whether you, some might be would have gone over this, because this is a very nice thing that I want, you want you guys to see. Accelerating digitalization. So I will just cut this video of the YouTube. I will explain. So BMW is on the hot mode in trying to use this metaverse. You know, they wanted to use a factory setup, omniverse factory setup. It is not even they are working on the omniverse thing, but they are trying to have a metaverse feeling. You will see what is actually how metaverse increases the productivity. Metaverse has its own limitations and challenges, I do agree, but how metaverse also helps in, in the automotive world. You know, one example is this: BMW and Nvidia has joined together because Nvidia is trying to provide the required hardware. And you will actually see that in this video, slowly, they are actually trying to see it, you know, virtually. If I place one robotic arm, see, there are three robotic arm, robotic hand automatically, giving the cars, one arm will be fitting, one of the parts of the car, and another arm will be fitting in another parts of the car. And they are in a completely, everyone is on the metaverse platform. They are actually trying to see if we place one more, robot trying to fit the car, some additional component, whether there will be disturbance in the operation, whether the operation will be smooth. That means every day, you I think this is one good information, like BMW produces one car every minute. Per minute, one car is actually produced from BMW. Now, actually, if you see this picture, in the center of the thing, you will actually see three robotic arms are there. Now, these fellows are gathered for a group discussion that if I place one arm, you know, an additional robotic hand, if I place it in the factory for one particular rectangular area, can I produce that car instead of in 1 minute? Can I do it in 45 seconds or 30 seconds so that the productivity is increased? And the one more thing is they are actually checking virtually, they are confirming it whether this is possible or will this impact on the existing flow. So here you can actually see now, if you closely look into it, they are trying to place a virtually an additional robot. So those are the things that are coming up. So now you can actually see there is a virtual camera also, it is installed that it is going to show. So now if you see that, I'll just for the time sake, you can actually see they are actually trying to see that if I remove that, and if I put one more robotic arm, whether all the robotic arm will work in a harmonious way, in a smooth way, without one disturbing other. So this is a very recent video that has come up from the BMW and Nvidia on the virtual factory setup. If that is the case, and people are seeing that, how much that it will immediately have an impact over in the productivity cycles. So this is one example of how in a decentralized way, how immersive that metaverse can take us in even boosting the productivity, boosting the efficiency of an operation. So application of the metaverse, one thing that we have seen lively, that there are some pictures of the metaverse where it is implementing, where it is getting impacted. And one beautiful example is what we have seen, that even in the manufacturing unit, to decide for a effective decision making, metaverse helps. Gaming and entertainment, the very first metaverse application game came from the gaming and entertainment. So where starting from a very old years, people are connected to the TV, and they will be trying to play a tennis, having a kind of like a bat. But now everything now taken on to the digital world. That is, metaverse is now actually having the bat. Only thing is your hand gesture is alone involved, where instead of you being here, you will be involved in the metaverse world of the gaming thing, where you experience the immersiveness. And business and remote work, we already discussed. Education and training, the virtual classrooms. Now people are connecting because I'm trying to do one of the metaverse sessions because I'm currently also as Madam Sangeeta Madam introduced. I'm currently doing my postdoc in quantum. So even for quantum, trying to link with metaverse, how we can use it, So connecting with our different professors, we want to get hold of, a specialized professor so that I cannot travel to US or UK to meet some of the, specialized ones. So instead we take their own virtual classrooms and we take their classrooms in a virtual manner, so that brings many people from different parts of the world, making the education easier and effective, and it is accessible for everyone. So while we talk on the metaverse, anyway, I will just speak each and every, just have a word on these things on a like on a little bit in a detailed way. But on a quicker note, we have a private, we can actually feel the importance of the metaverse, how metaverse is actually helping us great. But we do have some challenges and we do have something to be considered ethically. So the challenges are the privacy and security, because we are sharing our data. So the data collection, risks of hacking, because we see that there is a digital theft that is happening because you are trying to share your personal data, so that is the high hardware cost, because very, very, very costly. Because even for a normal, we all know that even if we want to get a normal metaverse system in a very high customized way, we can get it, but it costs closely around 4 lakh. So it is actually costing from, it is there from 1,90,000 till 6 lakh. It depends upon the customization, what you do, what you take. And internet speed and infrastructure, the high speed internet is required, for us. And also it directly have an impact on the cost and operability, issues. There is no universal standards are maintained, there is no standards are maintained, no, the limitations are not there, because this is again kind of like a new boom that is actually happening. It's kind of like one of the niche area that is developing. So instead of the metaverse standard, there is no standard available. So that is still remain as an operability issues. Some ethical concerns are there. We all know addiction. When we play a game, through a metaverse, of course we will get addicted. Mental health risks are there, and there is an impact on the social impact out there. But we will come back, quickly. But just on a higher note, these are the ethical concerns we have. Now let me take, another. I will try to close it in another 20 minutes. Um, so what all will be our ethical considerations? So if you look into the ethical considerations in the metaverse, so the digital identity and representation, you know, so these are some of the ethical considerations, the ethics of virtual identity, because the platforms require avatars to reflect real identities. So to reflect you, because example, we are actually sharing our information. One example, I was also in the last part of the quiz when the previous speaker was taking. So in the last part of the quiz, they were actually like, which I remember the question like, which sector is getting benefited more with metaverse, e-commerce, with the e-commerce thing, retail and e-commerce, I think the answer was. And with the retail, you are trying to share your own information because you wanted to see how you will look good in a particular cloth. If you want to wear a different suit and see which suit will be better on me, you are trying to share your height, weight, every information of you. So to see, but then there is an identity manipulation, then fraud is happening. There is a data threat, theft is happening. So the digital identity and representation, there should be some ethics of virtual identity, verified, that there should be some verification proper. The solution is like we need to have a verified avatars for critical interactions or for critical sharing. Yeah. And the mental health and psychological effects. So, I mean, this is not a new thing. We know in and out. Even starting from the mobile, we give to the kids when they see a game, even from the Play Store, when you try to have VR kind of stuff, when you install it, when you try to put it on the kit, and it is a dangerous thing that sometimes we get addicted. Not everyone will have the control, so there are some depression happenings and psychological manipulations, addiction happens over. So mental health and psychological effects are there when we are also using VR, especially in the gaming industry. So economic inequality, I mean, the affordability issues. I mean, it's like metaverse, because one of the negativeness what we have pointed is the challenges we have pointed is on the cost. So it's not like everyone can experience it still, because it's still a cost, one of the costliest infrastructure being involved, and there is a tremendous competition among the corporates, that who will control it, who can control the metaverse platform. Because in the metaverse platform, there is another giant, two giants are involved. Crypto technology is involved. We all know how crypto is impacted, and also on the blockchain. So there are some technological niche technologies are involved, and behind that screen, so there are competitions, there are from the technological giants, that they are in the race to capture the kingdom of metaverse. And intellectual property and ownership rights, example, this is one interesting example I've seen, like an artist who creates an art, but who owns it? Example, if an artist makes a painting inside a VR platform, whether the artist owns it or a platform, this is again a kind of like a debate, a heated debate is happening. Who owns the digital creations? And there should be limitation on digital creations. That's where all blockchain, everything comes in to safeguard your digital asset. Now they are calling it as a digital asset, because it's not only in a painting. It's like you can buy a land. They're trying to have a digital world where you can buy a land, you have your own car. And one thing is, you will not believe, I have seen people who are very passionate in that metaverse thing. There are some people, especially also in the gaming industry, they actually give you an digital asset certificate. So everything is kind of like a digital asset certificate. That certificate is like our agreement paper on buying a property, that they convey that this fellow has this digital asset. They call it as a digital asset. For the digital asset, they have a digital certificate. So very very surprising, and that raises many things on the ethical considerations. That raises many things. Okay, if this is coming to the picture, you will not, once you just put on this thought, we will have numerous questions. How this, suddenly when some, a person who is not, well versed in metaverse, when they hear it, they will think like, okay, what is this? What is this so funny? you know and because you are trying to do something in some world which is not even existing, and we are spending some our healthy money, and just to get a digital certificate, just it is saying that everything is not existing physically. Everything is just existing virtually, and they try to get a certificate, and they are spending more. Copyright issues, plagiarism, then that too, especially from non-playable characters. They call one word in metaverse called as NPC. So NPC is like, when you talk to, it's kind of like, you talk to different kind of agents. It's not like the real players are into that, but instead you talk to the, kind of like an agentic behaviors. It's like in artificial intelligence, we call it as agents, no? So there is one terminology also in AI coming up very hard, agentic AI, multi-agents. So these are some of the topics. So there also, they have a small link with metaverse. So where you talk to like, you know, a toll gate, an automated toll gate. So you try to sell your money, digital money, virtual money, I will call, and you are trying to use it for something. If you want to just visit some island virtually, and they are actually having a token pass, and for that you spend your virtual money, and and what is this? Copyright issues, plagiarism, everything comes up. And AI control avatars, NPCs, what I was actually talking about, and and a virtual assistant manipulating. Some you get into a virtual shop, some virtual assistant is trying to manipulate you, Those are the NPCs. We call it as an NPCs, playable characters. It's like you come into that, the characters talk to you, and they will actually manipulate you in buying some digital asset. So there is some bias in algorithmic discriminations. The trolley problem in virtual worlds. So the trolley problem is, it's like an AI has to decide between two. So again, you can see, again on the automotive world, a self-driving AI vehicle in the metaverse to choose between whom to avoid in the virtual crash. Example, exactly like what I've told. If 5 persons are playing and one person is, but the one person is actually playing in a proper area, the 5 persons are in the, no, they should not be playing on that particular area because it is actually on the road. So now AI will be in a decision to decide between whether to follow the ethical thing or to save the human life. So this is a trolley problem in the virtual world, when you're not also in the existing world, also in the reality. But when you're trying to simulate this, we have some issues. So the algorithmic bias is there, even for the trolley problem. So that is what it has been listed. And crime. Example, you do something wrong in the virtual world, who to control it? Do we need to have some police? Do we need to there were some very nice discussions in the metaverse that, do we need to kind of have a metaverse police? And if at all we have, how much power do they have? And is there some law or something that we need to have in the metaverse world? If you are trying to create a virtual world, that virtual world should be always connected to some common virtual consortium. And this common consortium will have their own kind of like monitors. They call it as a police. So discussions are higher, but not everything is legally put on it, like how we can deal with metaphors. But it has raised on ethical consideration. It has raised plenty of questions. So we are on to the final part of metaverse. What is our privacy challenges? So till now, we have actually seen, we started with metaverse. We know how metaverse is benefiting us in a manufacturing world, different things. And metaverse is there in everything, gaming industry, business, education. Beautiful to experience the retail and everything. I want to change the color of the coats. Now you can actually see that there are AI applications where they themselves show that, they try to avatar yourself, and they are allowing you to try different clothes and different colors of the clothes. You can change the color. So positively, we have different applications. The doors are opened up, but as the doors are opened up, this is kind of new to us. How technological community, how we are actually reacting towards the metaverse change. So then, while we are playing along with the metaverse, there are some ethical considerations that we need to take. There are some, our data theft might happen. All these things we have discussed. Then, apart from that, also we have a thin line that, apart from ethical consideration that we need to take care or keep in mind when we play with the metaverse area, there are some privacy issues are happening. And because you share, as I've told, you share your own personal information, your phone number, your payment details. Even though you wanted to buy some digital coins, you are actually providing your own credit card, or debit card details. And you provide your own biometric data. So you actually see an application in Facebook when you traverse now, that AI is now trying to make your voice sing like a pro. Your voice is now converted to sing like a pro for any particular song. We are exponentially, AI and metaverse and blockchain combined together. They are going on in a different direction. You know, so biometric data, we are actually sharing our facial expressions to look, so that the avatar will looks like us. So the behavioral data, how we behave, how we will interact. So normally I might be a fast speaker, and some might be a slow ones when they talk to the audience, or how you interact. You exactly in the metaverse, you have to feed these informations. But there is an issue also, that there is a, with respect to the data theft that is happening, which is again a privacy concern, because we are sharing our own personal informations. And balancing privacy and security, because when we always talk, that people will say, okay, privacy, security, that very close, that is always goes together. And how we are linking, Because as I have also asked a question, like when some theft is happening, whom you have to report? Then, or if some theft is going to happen, do we need to have some metaverse police kind of thing? And how we can link the virtual and real world identities? If a person is sitting on there, he's trying to create a different avatar. But if something is happening, how we can track down the person? So all these are some of the privacy and security issues that raises question in the metaverse world. The data security breaches, malware, and phishing attacks. Now, what is happening is, as or using AI, not only in the reality world, also in the virtual world, people are coming up in the humanized approach. You will never believe that this is kind of like a malware attack or a phishing attack. You will try to believe if there is an avatar trying to, you know, assist you in buying some digital asset. You really don't know whether that digital avatar is, a real one, or it is a malware. You know, it is exactly like how we are meeting some fraudants. When we talk to them through phone, they will be asking us to share our email, our ID or a bank password. But now, even now, people are acting in a different way, right? Even in the mail accounts, using AI, what they are trying to do is they are trying to exactly create like an SBI mail. They're saying like, your account has been hacked or blah blah blah, and some people are still believing it. And you also get a call perfectly like a bank employee using AI. So likewise, also in the metaverse world, there is malware and phishing attacks happening, data breaches happening. So that raises the privacy issues and the ownership battle. What we have discussed, who owns the data, who owns the right, and some we are always using the ledgering concept in the blockchain. We always keep record of every user who is coming into the metaverse world and who has to delete our information after some time. Still, that is not happening. A very important privacy issue that is with the metaverse world is data deletion. Where the data becomes immutable. That becomes really challenging. The final point here in this data, the ownership of the user data and everything is fine. But if you really see, you know in the blockchain systems, when the data is becoming immutable, that means the data is never getting deleted. It exists for, so it is like throwing our information to the open metaverse world, and it is not getting deleted. It is on the air, and we have to sit tight and see. We have to pray, like, it should not be in the wrong hands. So that is again a problem with the metaverse. And transparency, yeah. So lack of opt out options. So the problem is, once you started to share your informations, and the people, as it is a new kind of experience, people are wanted to experience this metaverse thing. But the problem is they don't have a proper way to disable it, or come out of it. Even today, when you try to, I know there will be many hands in, even in our group, that when we opt for, like, example, we buy something, leave out even metaverse. I will tell you, like, we buy some stuff using our credit card, and we will and it will say that it will be a monthly, every month, using the credit card information, the amount will be automatically debited. And many people, believe me, do not know how to disable that. So they will be getting into the internet banking, but they will not have a proper way to be out. And they finally call the customer care. It will be a lot of tensions. So even for in our regular world, we are facing those issues, and even in the metaverse, then, which is a new kind, lack of opt out options, making, and the users who are involved, they are, the trouble is they were not able to come out easily, so that the data is shared. And targeted ads on advertisal behaviors, making people addicted towards the ads in the metaverse world, rising a mental health risks. And yeah, data monetization is also happening. So these are some of the privacy issues that we have. And children's privacy, finally, before I close, there are some children's privacy protecting the, privacy is there. Data collection on minors happening, because minors are mostly using metaverse for gaming. So for gaming thing, all the personal data from the kids, the kids pattern, the what the kid chooses, whether the kids will have a, addiction, or they will have the itching behavior to ask their parents to buy some digital asset for them to play, because on certain level of stage in the gaming in the metaverse world, so the system will ask them to buy some digital asset to continue on the game. So that makes the kid so addicted towards it, and creating some mental health issues and the behavioral challenges with the kids. So before we conclude, I think we have almost, as promised, we are very close to 6:15. Um, so as we conclude with the metaverse, it's a great transformative technology, great one, one of the biggest disruptive technologies that we also have along with AI, and which reshapes our digital world, definitely. But there are also some challenges remain, because if you have see the advantages it brings on into the simulation world, it is of to a greatness. Manufacturing industries, retail, e-commerce, education, you know on a positive note we have tremendous, but again on the challenge, on the ethical considerations, we are trying to share our data, we don't know how to come out, and what is the data theft is happening, if some data theft is happening, whom to report, how to track it, is there any monitoring monitor limitations are there, or is there something that is monitoring things are there that will warn us that you know on any hazards. There are plenty of questions also in that to be answered.